Yeah, na, 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 yeah. Certain fire flames, now born again. Times really change. Talk truth, we've seen better days. The youth not safe again. What a damn shame. Talk truth, how that them are promote. So quick them selling out, them sold them cashing out. Yeah, well, this is Kinetic 9 representing for Ijahstars and the mindset. If you now move right, get your mind checked.
Issues related to development, the environment, and sustainability, and understanding of personal and global significance of these issues. My best definition of education, the act of possessing, imparting, and inquiring general knowledge development, is the powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally of preparing oneself and others intellectually for mature life. The act or process of imparting or inquiring particular knowledge or skills are for professions and professionals and for development. Something that the youths are looking for today. We have to set up in the schoolroom that we sit in. Development is simply words and its process that to create and bring growth and brings progress and brings positive change and development and healthy signs to our nation, our building Congress as well, and can be defined as a process of improving social, economical, political conditions within the society, in the Congress, in E.A.B.I.C, in the world as well. Because we came to save the world and to rise above everything. If we don't educate ourselves, how could we do that? So this well subject came about learning and development. It fits right in my ball field right now, where I'm hitting. It is a function within an organization that is responsible for empowering the employees and the members in our growth and development and in our knowledge, skills, and capabilities to drive better businesses and perform our government, and even lead us to be able to be in delegations going and representing our nation and Black people as a whole. Because Bobo Shanti is just a little group of us, but we have a mighty work to do. And we are just about 5% of God's chosen, the few. The aim of learning and development is to improve the skills, the knowledge, the competency of all E.A.B.I.C and all people in the world, employees, to create the culture of growth and to improve in work performances. That means you will get more done. Why is learning and development important for employees, for students, for builders like we are? Learning to develop benefits to employees by expanding their abilities and overall potential to take it home, resulting in a better society, better performance, and satisfying work experiences. What are the roles in learning and development? The main activities of learning and development include formal and informal learning, coaching, monitoring, mentoring, skill building, and targeted training programs that we should set up. Because with education, we can spread and go far and deep and control. Because we will be branched and classed as the intelligent. Who wears the trophy, wise ignorance, pay the judgment price. What are the roles of learning and development? The roles in the field of learning and development include learning and development specialists, learning and development managers, training and specialists. A learning and development specialist is responsible for planning and for facilitating a nation, a people. And it is facilitating employees and sponsored learning programs Their duties are often include assessing training needs and designing training needs, designing training contents, and leading to sessions and study groups. How to become a learning and development specialist. A learning and development specialist role typically requires strong written and verbal communication skills, experience in project management, and competence in using and learning management skill system. HR human resources needs skills refers to the ability of competencies needed to work effectively to build our human resources and our role as educated congressman and woman going forward to give the children something to hold on to, my Lord and Majesty. Pardon me for being so long.
Majesty.
Finish up our
Go ahead now, Empress, you can read.
key points about this perspective. Selective revivalism. Not all traditional practices are seen as beneficial, so there's a focus on choosing and adapting the most valuable aspects of African culture. Education and awareness. Increasing knowledge about African history and culture through education systems and media is seen as crucial for cultural preservation. Community engagement. Actively involving communities in cultural practices and celebrations is considered important to maintain cultural vitality. Artistic expression, utilizing traditional arts, music, and dance as vehicles for cultural transformation and pride, and balancing tradition with modernity, integrating traditional values into contemporary life without hindering progress or development. My Lord and Empress.
Bless.
Yes. This kind of self-explanatory, you know? Yeah, those are kind of self-explanatory. They're just giving you suggestions of development, you know, as we see and we acknowledge, and we are getting there in our stead. But as we have other writings here and other aspects of this program we want to get through, we ask the chair to just hold the floor for a second and let us show this little short documentary before we get into our discussion as priest and priest, feeding up the reasoning.
On it, we're proud of you. You're one of the goddess. The way revolution happened is you do things. You don't just say things. You got to do things. You got to make change. And this question of honoring the ancestors, thank God the caravan has made a groan in that part of the country. And people are viewing you and imitating from all over the country. Because when you forget your caravan, you've lost the war. I mean, you forget your ancestors, I'm sorry, you've lost the war. You know, you can't have a revolution and not have it for the re-implementation of your spiritual consciousness. Then who are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? We missed that a lot of time along the way in our struggle. We got so Eurocentrically militant. We forgot that we were not the Eurocentric, we were the African, you know? And Mama was talking about nature. In Africa, nature is God. In the universe, nature is God. The cosmos is God. That's what the ancestors was trying to show us in Kemet when they showed you Geb and they showed you Nut, and they came together and created Sa and a Set. Before that, they showed you Shu and Tef Nut, the gases and the minerals and the element. we understood the science of reality. We understood nature. All those laws we wrote in Ma'at, they were imitating laws we learned from nature. Nature is the teacher. Cosmology, ecology is the divine, and we're a part of that divinity. And what we're going to be doing as we go to honor our creator, I don't like to say creator anymore. We're really honoring ourselves. We're not only an aspect of the divine creation, we are the very ancestors we're going to honor. You know, when your mom and your daddies, and I know y'all don't like to think about your mom and daddy having sex, well, that's what they did. And when they had sex and that sperm and that egg came together and hit, here we are. And what are we? We are a replication of them. They reproduce themselves. Every memory, every thought, every idea that they had learned to that point, they brought it forth in a child. And what they had been was every ancestor from the beginning of time. Billions of ancestors. The first ancestor is God itself, meaning the universe itself. That's why, you know, in the pyramid text, it opens up. I create myself out of myself. I cause existence to exist so that existing might exist. This was Amen, that which is unknowable. And the next line in the pyramid text our ancestors left us is, when the causation realized that it existed, it said, Ma'at, the feminine factor, was at my side. I didn't create it. It was at my side. We came together. And that thing we call Ma'at is the fundamental laws of nature. Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, reciprocity. And then all of the other breakdown laws we got out of it to govern building good character. So good character can form good families, and good families form good neighborhoods. Good neighborhoods form community. Community forms nation. We need to do that now. And when we talk about spirituality, and as we talk about venerating and uplifting the ancestors, and we talk about what we need to learn, and this is what Mama is doing in Tanzania, one of the many things she's doing, and around the world. We got to make sure that we can provide food, clothing, shelter, safety for our people. If you can't do that, you ain't got no revolution. If you can't focus on providing food, clothing, shelter, safety, you're not talking about spirituality, because spirituality is not spookology, it's reality. You know, and food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security. We must make sure that that's the fundamental goal that everything else feed into. That means we got to take control, Mama, like we talked about back in the days of the party. We must take control of land, labor, and resources. And then master the economic, politics, and culture on that land. What spirituality do is give you your reason for your relationship to one another. Dr. Asa Hilliard said to us that he used the term freedom, and freedom means in the Greek, liberated mind, dome, and to liberate. And he said, true freedom is to be shackled to your identity. True freedom is to be shackled to your identity. And what a better way to be shackled to our identity than to make sure we never forget our ancestry, because they gave us this identity. And we should be proud of them. We come in every shade, every size, every height, you name it. The African people say, well, you know, sometimes I'm arguing with some white folks when I work on this project I'm working on. They say, well, you ain't black, small, you brown. Well, browns ain't nothing but shades of black, you know. But if you give them white is a depreciated shade of black, you know, you just got depreciated. And we need to deal with the reality of the science, because if you study the ancient work, it's all about what the, matter of fact, they stole our spirituality and call it their science. And then flip a trick on us and make us reject their science, think somehow it's in opposition to spirituality, because they misuse the science.
Reality.
discussion of any of our early literature, especially the pyramid text, Coffin text, is a discussion of quantum physics. That's why he's chasing around the world talking about the theory of one. Well, I don't need to have the theory of one. I am the theory of one.
So the next song
Love you, mama.
we're all going to be playing is
Classic piece.
Majesty
Classic
Bless,
piece.
you know.
Mhm.
So we see from all of that and everything, we answer the question. This is something you're bringing up, my lad.
Yeah, coming up to now address what he just spoke of.
Defining the understanding the difference between divine and divinity.
That's the last agenda point, which is what he just opened up in our heads a while ago. You know, if we were listening attentively, and we will hear it back now in the words form.
You can go and read that, my lad.
In a spiritual context, divinity refers to the state of being, divine, encompassing the nature and essence of a God or supreme being, often associated with concepts like ultimate truth, love, and spiritual realization. It signifies the sacred or holy aspects within a person or a higher power, depending on the belief system involved. In ancient belief, it is acknowledged that there exists a divine nature in every human. The belief signifies that each person has the ability to connect on a higher cosmic level. There is a misnomer that divinity is beyond human limitations, that it is transcendence and ultimate reality. Ancient Africans generally view divinity as a supreme being, often referred to as a creator god, who was responsible for the universe, but with various lesser deities or divinities acting as intermediaries between the supreme being and humans, often seen as offsprings or emanations of this supreme being, each with specific domains of influence in daily life. This concept is characterized by a belief that the divine is present in all aspects of nature and life, with ancestors playing a crucial role as spiritual guides and connectors to the divine realm. Divinity refers to the state of being divine, meaning a godlike quality of the nature of a god, while divination is the practice of attempting to gain insight into the future or hidden knowledge through supernatural means, often by interpreting signs, omens, or rituals, essentially foreseeing events using mystical methods. The word divination comes from the Latin divinere, which means to foresee. Key points about divinity and divination. Divinity represents the divine essence of power of a deity. Divination, the act of trying to predict future events or gain hidden knowledge by using practices like reading tarot cards, interpreting tea leaves, or consulting oracles. In African cultures, brotherhood signifies a deep sense of shared community. And I will repeat that. We need to be reminded of this from time to time. In ancient cultures, brotherhood signifies a deep sense of shared community, responsibility, and solidarity among individuals, often extending beyond biological family ties to encompass the entire village or tribe, where everyone is considered brother or sister and expected to support one another through thick and thin. This concept is deeply rooted in communal values and is often reinforced through traditional rituals and kinship systems. Example, like I and I, Bobo Ashanti, that is we are a living example of what brotherhood signifies. Everything that it says here is what our father, Dada Emmanuel, taught us. That kinship system, my Lord and Empress, that God and Goddess realization of self-realization as God and Goddess. All of that is what it's speaking to here. That is what was the greatness of our Father. That message that he brought, that highlighted that divinity in I and I. That's why we're looking at these words at this moment within the priesthood liberty. Divine, divinity, divination. What do they mean to I and I as a priest? Continue, Empress. I want to hurry up and get through the reading so man can express themselves. Key aspects of the African view of brotherhood. Collective responsibility. A strong belief that everyone has a duty to care for and protect other members of the community, regardless of their immediate family ties. Shared identity, a sense of belonging to a larger group based on shared ancestry, culture, and experiences. Respect for elders. Older members of the community are highly revered and their guidance is valid or valued. Yes. Hospitality, a strong tradition of welcoming and providing for guests, treating them like family. These are the African definition of these words and these titles. Mutual support, the expectation that individuals will help each other in times of need, whether it be illness, hardship, or conflict. Principles of nationhood is what they are. Rituals and ceremonies. Traditional practices like initiations, rites often strengthens the bonds of brotherhood within a community. Examples in African cultures. Blood brother or blood brotherhood. In some African societies, a ritualized practice where individuals symbolically become blood brothers through a shared bloodletting ceremony, signifying a strong and unbreakable bond. Extended family system. The African family structure to include aunts, uncles, cousins, and other distant relatives, creating a large network of support. Community leadership. Elders are respected figures within a community, play a crucial role in guiding and mediating disputes. I'll say that again. Elders are respected figures within a community, play a crucial role in guiding and mediating disputes. Important considerations. Diversity across Africa. While the concept of brotherhood is prevalent throughout the continent, specific practices and interpretations may vary significantly between different ethnic groups and regions. Colonial impact. Colonialism often disrupts traditional African social structures, impacting the expression of brotherhood in some communities.
DM.
Give thanks. So, that's the African understanding of divinity, and divination. What I like as a priest, I like the whole concept of divination, something that I and I have never really spoken of intimately in the Congress or within the priesthood. I guess because back then they kind of had it under the taboo setting, like some form of obia, some like obia is a bad thing according to how they have taught it to, or retaught it to the Western Africans. So divination was kind of seen as a taboo because they're looking at it as tampering with the dead or the underworld. It is nothing like that. You hear what it says divination is. Seeing it is gaining insight. Is the practice, divination is the practice of attempting to gain insight into the future or hidden knowledge through supernatural means, often by interpreting signs, omens, or rituals, essentially foreseeing events using mystical methods. See? And that's all it is. That is the essence of divination, which is what I and I did when we went into the tabernacle and we synchronized our service, seen in its perfection, the altar functioning with the musicians, functioning with the congregation, and we got that synchronicity, that energy that it creates moments like that, moments of insight, moments when you can see beyond just the present moment, that present instance. See, that's divination, that's science. That is not no hocus pocus thing that we are hearing about and that them talk about. That is something that most of I and I as elders of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress during our service, especially back in those days on the hill, have experienced. My Lord and Empress, give thanks.
My Lord, give thanks for your royal explanation going forward. And the floor is open, my Lord, from all what we spoke about today, our approaches and our shortcomings and our application, how to address it, even to see the brethren come and reinforce the meditation of man of right is God in flesh. And may I what may say from the first aspect, from you recognize man of right and accept that. The next step is that the understanding that God is in all flesh. So we give thanks for them understanding them, my Lord, and the floor is open to the royal participants, my Lord and Majesty. Bless. Any feed forward, any insight, any things coming to remembrance, man, them can share it with I and I, my Lord and Empress.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks.
Honorable priest, Majesty blessed.
Yes, my Lord. And myself and Honorable Empress Cindy was fortunate to, attend one of the lectures put on by, the
Professor.
and I good people of it was actually Nicholas Bookstore, Brooklyn,
Okay.
And that's an institute that we know for years, you know, they were celebrating their 50th year, you know,
Alright.
of existence, and you know, yeah. But they did put on, you know, they do host certain lectures, and one of the lectures was with brother Professor James Smalls and brother Kaba also. But with
Yeah.
you know, my lord said something earlier that these ones, if you go and you look in the earlier work, he even professed, you know, that he was a devoted Muslim, you know,
Okay.
and after going to Mecca itself, or what we call Egypt, you know, and he saw certain things, you know, when he come forward, just like Malcolm X, you know, he had a change of view, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Epiphany.
Yeah. So yes, so within the God aspect, you know, he started to see God within all things, even himself
Rastafari.
and others, you know, and that's one of the highlight of the moment that, you know, he was reasoning on, you know, the God himself, you know, and the realization of man and woman being God and goddesses, you know.
Rastafari.
So with that said, you know, I, you know, Father, you know, King Emmanuel also taught us that same, you know, that same thing,
Natural.
you know, and he was speaking that even before ones and one had that was privy to that knowledge,
Natural.
you know. So that said, you know, and I know we should have even been forward of certain ones, even reasonment nowadays, you know, and we as a Congress done professing, you know, even through all time, all of these things that man and woman is God and goddess in flesh, you know, of right, I must say. You know, we say man and woman, men and women of wrong is Satan and Satan is in flesh, you know, so we give thanks, you know, for the Congress. We give thanks for King Emmanuel Harder, you know, coming forward. And I want I and I, as a people, you know, to see and realize these aspects of ourselves so that we could come together as that Voltron, you know, that Megatron, you know, within one unity, one goodie, you know, and just fulfill the man work of redemption, repatriation for black people, you know. I and I,
Selassie
Selassie,
I. Yeah.
Jah,
Rastafari.
Alright.
Rastafari, and Empress.
My
I will
lord.
come again, but I will just leave the
When we
floor for
hear
now.
how the Irish, my lord, a lot of us take solace to know our future is good moving forward. You know, so we give thanks for the Honorable Priest German, my lord. Majesty best.
Yes, and to even endorse what Honorable Priest Jermaine is saying. Yeah. I have been a follower and a brethren of Dr. Small for a time. He is a close brethren of Baba Leonard Jeffries, who is one of I and I mentors of, from back in the day, you know. Honorable Priest not supposed to remember Leonard Jeffries from City College days.
Yeah, man.
He's
Yeah,
the one,
man.
yeah, he's the one that established the African Studies program there and stuff. So that is how I and I got into interaction with Dr. Small. Because as I don't know if they had know, Dr. Jeffries is ailing now, up in his age, he got a stroke. And it's Dr.
Yeah.
Small who is, yeah, it's Dr. Small who is basically overseeing his care at the moment.
Give thanks.
So, yeah, that is how I and I have come into taking in these brethren. And the reason for it, and I'll end here, the reason for even highlighting these brethren, these are not the normal. Man like Dr. Small have been to Africa maybe 30 something times in his lifetime, over 30 odd times to different parts of Africa. Same thing with Baba Jeffries. They are a crew that used to travel together. It's a whole series of them leading right up to Dr. Henry Clark. They used to travel together annually. It was an annual thing that they pledged to do over the years. So they have gone on many trips throughout Africa together. Um, Ranoko Rashidi, people like that. If you look at different trips that they have taken. They've all taken. Yeah, so these people speak from a knowledge base, an experience base. What they are teaching us is not of the Western view of things. And that is what they have always amplified among us. That we are going back to hear what our ancestors have said, how they have said it. Because the same things that we are holding on to, that is given to us from a Eurocentric Western view, was given to them by our ancestors from an African point of view.
Yes, man.
And if that is how you hear them explaining it, when you hear Dr. Small, he's giving you the village, the African village interpretation of these scenarios. You know, see, which is where we as priests who have grown up in the Western Hemisphere have to apply ourselves now in coming into the continent. These are the aspects of ourselves that we want to learn, you know, the essence of our ancestors, or our ancestors interpreted spirituality, see, versus the religious way in which we were taught it even before we became Rasta. Because our foundation is not in Rasta, most of I and I. Our foundation is in the church where our mother did go and our father or grandmother or whatever did go. That is our first foundation of things. Give thanks. Bless you.
Through the chair.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord. I give thanks to that reasoning. For I say, that me I say when time me I listen to Dr. Ben from Yagua Junior College, Bronx Community, and Dr. Clark and all of them, and them beat white Jesus, but them still have a foundation that man is God, which is what Prince Emmanuel, a teacher and I, in the sense of that God is universal consciousness and we are all a part of it. We are our individual or personalized part of the Christ consciousness, which is where African that teach all along. I just say because we come with this Jesus Christian concept of it to point to one individual as an expression of God. And at that transition, you know, we have to make within ourselves and for sure the younger one them. Because that I said the book symbolic, you know?
Rastafari.
So let me call them now the intellectuals that study and been studying Kemet and all of these places. I come back and say the same thing with that teacher, just in an educated way, you know?
Yeah.
That I teach it on the level that him could have teach you.
Nah.
We never ready for it, you know what I mean? But we have to open my mind now and receive it in the fullness of it from all angles. My Lord and Majesty.
My Lord. Floor is open, my Lord and my Empress.
Through the chair.
Honorable Priest Sevens, my Lord.
My Lord and Empress. Yeah, so give thanks for all said and done. A whole lot was said and done, you know. Thanks to follow up on information, you know. So with all the information we gather, what are some of the solutions that we could pinpoint? Because it's that we said earlier that we would get some solutions, but when I say solutions, I mean not what we could do, what we should do, you know, what we would do, what is in our reach, what resources we have to work with, what is our capabilities to bring solutions. Blessed.
You could start me off with a suggestion, Honorable Priest.
But I might ask the question.
Yeah, that means you must have something right to heaven, share it with me now. Kickstart.
I don't know how if a solution, you know, but I want to say it's not what we could do, not what we should do, What are we capable of doing? What do we have to work with? I could always
I hear all of that.
yeah, but I wouldn't just bring ideas what is not reachable, you know. So I am asking the question, my lord. Where's the solution?
Well, I will jump in there if there's nobody else jumping in on the answer because we have
Jump
set some
in
answers.
entirely.
Yeah, we have set some answers since there. Putting together the media committee to help in presenting information out there to hearing our let's use the word doctrine, hearing our doctrine to the wider family as we unfold information that is pertinent to our liberty. Like today, a discussion like this would be considered in academia a very intelligent and uplifting discussion because we looked, not many ones, even within I and I liberty, willing to introspect in a real tangible way, a practical way. We kind of squinge in time. We're coming to the rough edges and we kind of infuse some little cushioning, to not look at the thing as straightforward as we need to. Because sometimes it's that shock and awe we need, to get motivated. You understand? When we see the reality in its raw, it kind of push you to the next level, which we need something right now because we have tried a lot of things and it hasn't really got the motivation of the entire family to any level where it is workable. So we need to be trying every aspect of how to motivate ourselves back on track. So I'm saying all that to say sometimes the reality in the raw, these kind of reality checks are very important. And we have come away with identifying that, yes, we need to have these expressions going out in a controlled way, but across all media spectrum, so the wider family can hear some of these very important discussions. See, that is one aspect of things. We also identify as part of our declining situations that if we can manage the economic aspect of ourselves on a more collectively strong level, we would offset many of the problems that affect the decline or feed that decline. See, things that we can do, we can look at why, what the cause is. And when we identify the cause, then we can come up with solutions. What is causing the lack of empress presence on a wide scale among us? What is causing the lack of ascendancy, as it was back in the day? You saw youths of various age groups coming into the Congress throughout the days of the development. You had different ones came at different age. You had ones as young as 9, 10 coming into the camp. See, and the average age was 13 and up, 13, 16. That was when we were coming into the camp. And come see others that were 19, 20, 21, 22, so forth and so on. We are not having that kind of ascendancy development. How can we foster that? How can we repair that? See, we saw that we need to involve more youth development, more youth programs, give the youth more platforms to be able to express themselves among I and I, to use their ingenuity. Because we know that when we were 13, we had whole heap of ingenuity bursting out of I and I. Well, I know that so I and I did come up in Rasta. See, I used to knit, used to make belt, used to do all kind of craft back then as part of our expression. And when we come at camp, we got involved in other things, broom, mat, sandals, But we have none of those areas of development on any 21st century stage that can be attractive to our children. So even those past craft that we have not developed them to where they are a usable craft in the 21st century. So we need to look at those things and try to create more youth-friendly programs and create more areas within our development where youth energy can be applied. And those are doables. Those are not something we need $1 million to do. Blessed up, family.
My Lord, give thanks. And I like to reiterate, say, we want to come up with the economic initiative for March. The but it's gonna be March 2nd. You are supposed to have put in a ties away for January, February, and March.
I would say end of March. End of March, I went with it, sir.
At the end of March, we say?
Yeah, man, I end of March with it, sir, man.
All right. Well, okay. So the end of March, we're looking forward to see our coffee rise a little. And then after that is March, April, May, the end of June, we come back up with that same initiative. Every 3 months, we put in 3 months ties. So, you know, whatever you can, and we can see where we can start strengthening ourselves in such, you know, my Lord and Empress. Floor is open.
And to add to that, family, through the chair, and to add to that, even had a in having our sub meetings that lead up to certain development that we're trying to create in the Congress. I had a small meeting along with the tech and the secretary. And our secretary is ailing from certain economic situations. She doesn't have the tools that she needs to have to do the job that we need her to do. So I think as a collective, we need to look how we can solve, you know, our help. Sometimes we can't solve the whole thing, but how we can help to solve the situation. She needs a gadget, whether it's gonna be a phone. She needs both, but one to begin with would help, whether a good phone or a laptop or a tablet, one of those kind of devices from which she can communicate and she can keep her minutes and share communications through social media, email, etc. So that is something I want I and I to meditate. You know, we have the people in place, but if they don't have the tools, they can't do the work. You know, and it's not all I and I is right now in the position. You know, it's not all of I and I have the ability to just get those tools. We have to really acknowledge that.
Well, a suggestion, the tights that me and Pre7's coming with, we could reroute it to press, where she could have tried to get her phone.
Good time.
In the meantime, because we supposed to come with a 3 yard like the end of March, so that will be 6 yard. So I don't know if the Empress can make, we know how much a phone would have cost. And we could have reroute that part, that tights to her to get that. What do I then think, my lad and Empress?
It's a solution. If there's other solution, it's a solution. Empress, yeah, you are best to speak. So go ahead and speak.
And that is a great idea, Honorable Priest, but this is something that is needed sooner than later.
Okay.
We shouldn't allow the rest of the week to go through without the Empresses, actually it's the 2 Empresses, to not have the tools that they need to assist in the works that we're doing.
And I think one quote was 200 US could assist with one of the items for one of the Empress, which would be the secretary. So that could be if 200 US, if that is available within a short moment, could start the process of equipping the secretary to function. Yeah. So yeah, yes, my Lord. Blessed.
The Empress on?
We will talk about that.
Here.
want to call
Empress, Empress
So I'm gonna take
Trisha,
off here and get
Empress Trisha,
my lord.
tell her to look into Price Smart. They're supposed to be having some sort of a laptop sale at a ridiculous price. I don't even want to say it. So tell her she look into Price Smart and see about and if it's real.
see if there's a real bargain there, as you're saying, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the price is like I didn't want to say it. You know what I'm saying? You know, ridiculously low. Yeah. Yeah, so the floor is open, my lord and empress. Everyone kind of get a fullness. Did we accomplish what we set out for today, my lord and empress? Did everyone get a more understanding to say ways and means of rising ourselves and facing the fact that certain things are declining within our culture? My lord and empress, blessed.
I just
Blessed
have a
love,
question.
everyone.
Oh,
Go
Hi,
ahead.
Empress Cindy. Blessed love. you can go ahead.
I'll wait my turn, Empress.
Blessed. I just wanted to just give thanks for this reasoning. You know, these are the kind of meditations that I have when I think about Bobo Shanti and Bobo Hill and the works that we're called to do. You know, our gifts will make room for us. You know, all the things that we need are within. You know, and as a collective, as we come together, each one's have their own strengths. You know, but when we work within our own strength and then we work with one another in unity, we can do massive things. And I think it all boils down to remembering who we are. We talked about divinity, like remembering that we are God body and that there's nothing that we can't do, you know, and then if we come short somewhere, then that's when our brothers or our sisters, you know, we come together for this conversation today because it's time, you know, there's so much that can be done. And I know I'm ready, you know. I'm ready for the works, you know, I'm ready for the work. So I just give thanks. I'm humbled that this is being discussed now. You know, it's time. And I'm just grateful to be amongst, you know, everyone. You know, give thanks. Blessed love.
Blessed love, Empress. We love you too, you know. Yeah, man. We love you too.
I love you more, Priest Knuckle. Thanks. Most definitely.
Floyd is
Empress
open.
Cindy. No, Empress Cindy was next.
Empress Cindy, Honorable Empress Cindy, Majesty.
Majesty, blessed love, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks for this powerful reasoning going through. I appreciate love everyone's input and opinion. And what I wanted to add is that I am an alumni from City College. I graduated there, and my minor at that university was in Black Studies. Now, when I was there, Dr. Jeffries was no longer there because, as maybe ones and ones know or don't know, he was fired from his position as the department chair because he had said some things about Jewish people and they took it the wrong way, so they fired him.
Yes.
And
him sued them ass though.
Yes, he sued them.
Yeah.
Precisely. So he's living his life now in Ghana with with his wife, and he's up there in age, but he's still doing wonderful works from what I hear. And his son is also in the government too. He holds a position in the high government. He's a congressman or something like that. I don't know if ones and ones know about his son, Hakeem Jeffries.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's his son. Yeah, and his son also went to another school that I attended, which was Binghamton University. His son is a graduate from that school. Yes, I. But I wanted to add, true, Dr. Smalls and I know each other from a long time too, because back in the days I was a student at BMCC, that's Borough of Manhattan Community College, and he was advising ones and ones who were getting ready to graduate if they wanted to pursue their bachelor's degree and attend a historically Black university. So he was organizing that, and he organized me into that, where I was able to travel down south to through various states, seeing these universities and what they had to offer students of color, and their curriculums and so forth and so forth. So I know Dr. Smalls from 2003. But Dr. Jeffries, I never got to meet him, but I just wanted to say give thanks for, the information. I wish I would have been a part of the research of this reasonment, because I have a lot of knowledge on, African history, African traditions, and so forth. But nevertheless, it's still a wonderful program. And I really give thanks for ones and ones who put it forward for ones and ones to learn, more about things that are happening and things that, need to be done. So give thanks, my Lord and Empress, Rastafari.
Well, what I would like to say, give thanks that we are blessed with the esteemed presence of Empress Cindy, who come with such a mighty history. Glorify, bless the name of the eye. Majesty.
Yeah,
Majesty bless, give thanks, my Lord. Humbly appreciate it.
we have some, that's the whole thing, That's why we need to come together. We have such esteem, knowledge among us, bridge.
Potential.
But when you look from Priest Knuckles to the high priest Ainsley, seeing go right down Priest Nappy, you go down the line, and when you touch the younger empresses them now, from Empress Trisha down the line, Empress Diane, Empress Cindy, we have such capability among us. We could just put them together in a certain synchronized way, man, we will be a force. And we have to do it because we don't have a choice.
We are doing it.
Facing what we are going to face, what we have ahead, we only can come closer together and work better together. That's the only option we have. There is no two options. Blessed.
My God. Give thanks. Yes, Honorable Royal Tech.
And Empress Cindy, we have you in mind for some works that we are brainstorming behind the scenes. And buckle up your straps, and we will be calling.
Buckle your seatbelt.
We will be calling on you shortly. Empress.
And I thought that came up in the moment, and we would like to see it manifest going forward. A day of storytelling. And I have a priest, you say, our brethren, and we could organize something like that for the children. Sit back with your popcorn and your little roots and your juice and your spliff and listen to some story. You know what I say?
Yes, right. Royal Tech, as you are the kind of makeshift secretary right now, put that down as a priority there. The storytelling program.
Storytelling. And we're going to try bring in as much youths as possible. Mamas and youths,
Publicize it wide. Let us do it with enough time that we can publicize it widely, because we know to publicize. So that's lots of time to publicize it wide.
Rastafari. Yes, the floor is open, my lad, and if we don't have nothing too much, we could look to bring down the reason. Anyone have any seal meditation? All right, Honorable Priest Knuckles, they could have seal up the reason, my lad. Priest Knuckles.
Pardon me, my lad, it's the screen shift for me a little while,
Yeah. Yeah, you could have seen that. Could have seen it out.
Okay, my Lord. Well, we just want to say, give thanks unto the Almighty within us all for all the good expression, intuition, reasoning, knowledge, and we want to turn that into understanding to bring up the younger ones to the level for a time for pass the baton on. We just have to secure the place first, you know? My Lord and Empress. So we give thanks to the reasoning this evening. Wonderful reasoning, strong and you know, very informative. My Lord and Empress. Would ask that virtual reverence in the codes of YardSlangz, you know. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, yeah, Rastafari. Glory be unto our Father, and to the Son, and the Holy Mother of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, it's now and ever shall be, Jah world without end. Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Oh, good and how pleasant it is for brethren and sisters to dwell together in unity and love. Give thanks to the eternal God. To him all praises belong, you know. We glorify all strength, glorify all the goodness and the abundance that is in store for us when we come to that unity of heart. Priest Dougie always remind you that on the last chorus that I say, when he was going away, the word is love one another and obey, you know. Do unto others as they would do unto you. This is the word that make us say. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. All divine guidance and blessing to one and all, my Lord and Empress. Blessed Lord, give thanks.
My Lord and Majesty. Hey,
Come on.
Priest Adigan, may I
My
hear your
Lord
voice
and
for the
Majesty,
day.
Heart of Love, family.
Priest Adigan, may I hear you for the day.